Guys, thanks for tuning in. Bad Publicity here. We're all back in full effect. We had a little break with the tournament schedule. Store championships went really good. We had a lot of good turnouts. I met a lot of good people on my travels.
I had a son.
Yeah. It seems like somebody had a human. So there's that.
But regionals went great.
So we have had some life adventures stick up.
You're out of my will.
But I guess the main thing we're here to talk about to you today is the spin cycle is officially wrapped up. So that means we can start going back and taking a look at what cards were offered to each faction.
This segment is called Memory Lane.
No, it's not.
Diving into HB first, we have HB kind of got, I don't know what you call it, but
They got purple cards.
they got the shorter side of the stick coming after the big box.
The shaft. They call that the shaft.
I think it's fair. They did get a big box. So
Yeah.
to be the least, I don't know. We're going to get flamed from HB players anyway. We might as well get
We
into
got
it.
amazing cards. What are you talking about? It's like,
I mean, ran into a vote.
But
You got a couple.
It's strange here. Like I just count them. What really adds to your faction? You know, like out of this whole cycle, and you get like here's 14 cards that HB got.
It is underwhelming to see them in your hand like that. Yeah.
So let's dive right into it. HB for the spin cycle got one new agenda. Project Aries. It was a 4 advance for a score of 2. When you score Project Aries, the runner trashes one of his or her installed cards for each advancement token on Project Aries over 4. If the runner trashes at least one card, take 1 bad publicity. So there's the bad publicity tie-in.
Yeah.
For the
Plug.
for the cycle. Yeah.
Plug for us.
Plug for us.
Thanks, Fantasy Plug.
Thoughts on it?
I don't know, like, I mean, this is one of the earlier cards that we saw in the set, and I just have never seen it
At
played.
all? Not even once?
I mean, I don't play any other faction but Genteki, but I really don't play Haas-Bioroid. I think it was just, coming out of the gate, the amount of popularity it had just kind of threw me off. But yeah, this card, I mean, just haven't seen it played.
Which is strange, though, because I do feel that that's a pretty good ability. Like,
It's okay.
Well, it's
but
not.
It's a
no,
4
like,
for 2,
but
too,
looking,
right? That kind of turns you off right away.
I'm saying I'm looking at just this card. I'm not saying that's a good ability compared to what they already had.
Oh, no.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm saying that, you know, if they didn't have any other agendas, this would be a really pretty good power. I'm not worried about taking the bad pub with it.
I think if you're planning on overscoring anything, it's going to be like a Vitruvius.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right?
It's already a 3 for 2.
But HB has already proven with that identity that it's not that hard to over advance.
Okay, I'm gonna give it the simple thing for me right in here. It's like, if I want to over advance something, I'm gonna over advance a Project Vitruvius. If I'm gonna go to probably 6, like you'd want to go with this thing, I'm gonna put a mandatory upgrades in my deck.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm gonna go to push, I'd rather have a mandatory.
Because the runner gets to choose which one of his cards he's trashing anyway. So I mean, and then you take a bad pub because of it. I mean, some people would play this on me, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, trash that, take a bad pub.
I put 3 worms. I'm holding on to 2 worms in my deck. It's like, yeah, let's get rid of those things.
So it's not as good as you might think coming out of the gate.
No, it's not as good as what's already there and their other options. I don't mind it, but I'm not playing with it.
Yeah. But we should keep moving though,
and we've definitely have not seen anyone play that.
I don't think we need to read the cards. I think everybody.
Yeah, because they'll be splashed up, right?
Yeah, but your head might block some of it.
No, just put it over my face. No, put it over Sly's face.
We got Elizabeth Maguire.
Yeah. So now we're getting into the assets here.
Yeah, we're into the assets. So I mean, a pretty standard power. I consider this a vanilla card. Again, haven't seen it played too much, but it's just one of those things that you want to see in the game. Like, we don't know how prevalent adding an installed card back into your hand is going to be
in the future.
I think once people started mapping out, you know, how much extra money you're going to make off of a Adonis campaign and an Eve campaign, people were like, is it worth having like 3? I mean, she does trash for 3, but that just if I'm running your R&D like a lot of people do, 3 isn't a terrible trash cost to look at another card.
That's wizard food, right?
Wizard food.
I really thought that...
That's Wizard's girlfriend right there.
As a side
Big
note,
Irish lady.
As a side note to...
I could totally beat you at digital golf.
Well, I would love to have her on a playmat, though. I love this...
The Scottish. Anything Scottish with this guy.
Do you mean her like laying on a playmat, or like
this? Why you gotta sexualize everything?
This art.
That is overly sexualized already.
You can't even see her elbows.
I love the art by Matt, our buddy Matt.
Is it Zelliger?
Yeah,
nice.
He does a good job. But I was really surprised that we didn't see the other executives with this same trash line. Like, she's the HB Jackson Howard, right? Like 0, 3, 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
0 to res, 3 trash, 1 influence. But we didn't see the
maybe if she had like another power, like
trash
action
something or something.
Yeah. Like something.
Yeah,
like you could have trashed her instead of spending that click.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As like a fast that you could pull it back. I guess that might be broken.
Well, trash to avoid taking a bad pub or something.
Maybe.
Nothing too serious, but
it's
maybe that's why we don't build cards. Or...
It still hasn't.
Power curve would just go.
Yeah. It still hasn't seen play. I don't expect it to see any play coming into regionals.
But again, the ability, like, that ability is a pretty, like, baseline. So, I mean, there could be cards that get ridiculous.
I think asset economy is going to come back into the game more.
Oh, I totally agree.
And I think that's when we'll start to see Izzy. Can I call you Izzy? I start to see Izzy splashed more across the other factions and used in faction more than nothing. What she was now.
That was a good tangent. Next card.
Next card. So we've got Rex Campaign. So again, we're not going to get into what it does because we should have her splash there. But this card I really dislike. There's very few cards in the game that I strongly dislike, and this is one of them. Just because you've got to wait for 3 turns to get $5 or
I disagree. I like it.
It's only 3 to trash. So if you got to wait 3 turns to make your $5 after paying $1 for it and clicking for the install. So
you have to think about it on a different angle, because it's like it's not about necessarily making money. It's about making the runner choose whether or not you're going to make that money.
Yeah, but it's an easy thing. Like, if it's going to cost me way more to get in there and stop you from making $5, then I'm not gonna.
No. I'm not saying put this behind a server or anything. I'm just saying put it out and just go. Is it worth? Is a run and $3 worth me not gaining 5 or potentially removing a bad publicity?
But you can choose that based on the game you're playing at the time.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's really not that.
I could see how you like your opinion on it.
You're not really putting this card in to make money.
I don't know. I just think it's a nice little wild card. It's going to be an income base. It's not something that you could just easily remove off of R&D.
Yeah, but for already Eve and Adonis, I'm like, I'd rather have those two.
Yeah.
I'd rather have all 3. I'd put all 3 in.
That's the thing. I would argue that you wouldn't put this in at all. Is what I would argue.
Well, that's why, like,
I haven't seen it.
As the recap, we still haven't seen. Well, I have actually come across someone playing Rex, but it didn't.
I haven't yet.
It didn't work out for them. I only saw one person, and I honestly was not concerned about it. They were not running a bad publicity style deck, so there was no need to.
I don't think I would focus on the bad publicity at all. I would think I would focus on the $5. I would focus more on trying to make baiting the runner into spending a click and 3 credits, and then going, oh, if you didn't, now I have $5. The bad publicity thing is kind of just a niche add-on, in my opinion.
But this is like a poorly done browbeat for Netrunner kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But they have to, like, you have to res it. Right, place the 3 power counters on it.
It's got to sit there,
and then it's got to wait those turns.
It's
so I don't have to get it first. I don't have to get it second turn. Then I just go in just when you're about.
All
to
I know is when I play my Sundews, I love when people run and trash them, and that's only $2. This is $3. You know what I mean? It keeps them the playing field good. You know what I mean? And if you're playing Engineer in the future, you make that $1 back. It doesn't even cost $1 really.
Yeah.
Right. So. I don't know. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like I've got 9 of them in my deck, right? I'm just saying, like I think that card has a lot more merit than again, Project Aries.
In comparing that to Sundew is infinitely better. Than
Oh
this, right?
yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of where I'm coming from with that. I don't know. I don't like it.
So HP.
It takes 4 turns for Sundew to make the amount of money that this does in 3.
Yeah, but it starts working right away.
And Sundew only trashes for 2.
Yeah, but then
it doesn't really start working right away. You only break even right away on Sundew.
Yeah, but this you don't break even for a long time.
I apologize for how argumentative he is today.
So HP got 2 assets, and those were the assets. Moving on to the upgrades, we start with Panic Button. I really like Panic Button, although you have to have a need for it.
Yeah.
I've tried it in a couple HB decks. What is it? The credit hand size one. Is it cerebral imaging? Cerebral imaging. It works really well. Just someone's gonna run, you know, it's the paid ability. Let me spend some money, draw up some cards. You're not gonna see it anywhere else. I haven't seen it anywhere else.
I think that's the scariest one to put it in, because you're paying money. Your hand size is increased by the amount of credits you have, and you're paying to increase your hand size. So it's just like your power is slowly dwindling. I think that this is just like, good early on account siphon possibility, money to spend your account siphon.
Yeah. But then on the flip side, though, people playing that style of that deck usually don't have a problem making money. I can spend 2 or 3 credits and still be way over my my credit limit. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a niche card. I think it's.
You come across any?
I have not. Well, that's it. You had it in your deck, and I think you may have done it once, but then you just put a bunch of stuff in your hand, so then it went into your hand. I don't even. It's okay. I mean, I don't know.
Another card. I think this is another card that hasn't seen. Like, it's not seeing play right now, but there's a potential for it to be, to fit in a lot of Johnny decks. You know what I mean? Like, there are going to be those combos that people figure out later on, like Elizabeth Mill and Panic Button, probably together. In fact, that's the deck I'm making next. No, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It's got an ability that could potentially be really strong later on in the game.
It's a hard thing to get behind with its 2 trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let them pay that $2.
Yeah. Next across, we're gonna have Strongbox. The next upgrade. I'm really surprised we haven't seen this run as much as I thought it was going to be.
Malice was really trying for a while to make it go. And
I think its innate failure is the fact that it splashes for 2. It seems like a weaker Ash, but it's got the same splash as Ash.
Yeah, we would have seen it in other decks had it have had the splash of 1, and it really could have gone having a splash of 1 with such a low trash cost and such a high res cost.
Yeah, and I just think that, like, I mean, if you're gonna go that route, Ash is just
better.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever seen anybody take full advantage of how HB is coming across, like with their clickable ice and that Ruhr Valley, making them
the runner compensation. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree on that. Nobody has actually, like, leave a comment below if you're running like a Ruhr Valley runner compensation deck,
or throw us a link to a deck.
That'd be cool.
If you're having good luck with a deck, throw one down there for us. But the compensation on spending with clicks just hasn't been there, and a lot of people said that this was going to be great in a Jinteki style too, but I haven't even seen the people running Jinteki use the Strongbox over.
Again, I think once we caught wind of Caprice and EC, everybody was like, well, how do I fit Ash in now? And then by the time Caprice comes out, I'll have a insane server.
The next operation we have is the Helen Alpha test.
I think it's Hellion.
Hellion? Helen Alpha test. This is a operation that I have not seen the light of day either, unfortunately.
I love the art.
Other than someone bring it and, like, let me just give this a try. I've never seen this thrown in competitively.
Yeah, it's not. I just want to see it try. I just want to see how it works. You know what I mean, or if it works, kind of thing. And yeah, man.
I think that just, you know, right now people are focused on really powerful cards and like but I think that this has got a lot of merit in the sense that, you know, somebody playing an opera or a resource based deck, you know, if you don't have a tag and you don't plan on running it all and you have a Katie at 9, like this lets them, you know,
kill a resource.
Yeah,
right?
but it's any resource. All they have to do is install one. You know what I mean? So you could just go, like, they could feel totally safe putting that 12th credit on Katie, and then they install, you know, whatever, and you're like, bouncer.
Yeah, and it's a purple trace too. Purple usually has a lot of money, so I mean it's kind of a good fit. But
and if you time it with Rex campaign, completely remove the bad pub.
So, you know what, though? It's strange, too, when you talk about the resource decks.
Your ideas are going now, right?
Don't do that. Anybody watching, just don't.
Decks are just flowing all over your face.
Because it's not uncommon to see a runner these days with a lot of resources out.
Well, especially, like, I mean, you saw the Sterling deck that they posted on Fantasy Flight. This thing would be a monster in that deck. A monster, right? Like, I mean, I'm looking at the deck that's running that thing that lets you click for $2, and if it gets removed, they take 3 meat damage. If you and they're running Fall Guys as like they're sweet, you could use this to bounce the Fall Guy and then start trashing those things and kill them, right? I mean, like it's a
very hard counter.
It's strange to see that it wasn't put out because the opportunities are there. I
think resource economy and all of that stuff is only coming seriously into play now. But after Honor and Profit, sky's the limit.
Yeah, I still don't like it in HB, but the splash is just too heavy for me to put it where I think it needs to be in making news. Accelerated Diagnostics, the card that when came out started the
Savage combo rip.
Yeah, but
where's the combo decks, guys? I mean, I keep thinking I'm going to sit down and play against it.
People are running them. They're just not doing it here. I mean, I follow a lot and online, and it's just a good, like, it's not something that's going to work every time. It's just like
it's
the
there
Grendel second turn kill, right? It's you just put it in your deck, and if you see the possibility, it's like, oh, by the way, you're dead now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, I have followed a couple discussions online that this has popped off once or twice in tournaments and stuff like that, but it's not this meta busting thing that people were making it out to be.
Yeah.
Any other rundown on this card? I haven't seen it as heavy as people
thought that it was going to be. Yeah, but no, I like it in. I liked the combo when it come to, like, say, over advancing a Beal or maybe scoring a priority requisition or something like that. You know what I mean? Any of the kill ones seem kind of fluky to me, because I mean, even if they have like one Plascreed out, then you'd have to have like all of the portions to have all of the combo and the repeating portions of it as well to like dual or triple scorch kind of thing. So I don't know. It's good if you're trying to just like over advance something here and there kind of thing, and you're not committing too many of your card slots to it. But that's about it.
Any other?
I mean, yeah, it's cool. I came up with kind of a green level, blue level clearance cerebral imaging deck that was running like all the recursion and all that stuff, and it was fun. Like, I mean, and I just like the risk for reward. I mean, other than the combo, I just think that this card is a good card just to put in your deck. If you can make a deck that kind of revolves around this, and you have Jackson Howard. Jackson Howard is the key in this.
Yeah, you kind of need him down in order to make anything work.
Yeah.
The next operation we have is the blue level clearance. As an additional cost to play this is a click. 5 credits, 2 cards is your reward.
Didn't like this card when I saw it at first, but after seeing that deck work, that's a good card.
Which deck are you talking about?
The one that I just referenced, the cerebral imaging deck. Yeah, just having 3 of these and 3 green levels and a couple other burst economy. I think that this card, I mean, it definitely gets you your money back, and it helps you speed along through your deck. I mean, you know, 2.5 credits for 2 clicks plus 2 cards is really not, like, that's a lot of things to get for 2 clicks.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Most definitely. It's a big reward. You're definitely maximizing your turn there. The thing that everything I thought about this card though turned out to be true. I haven't seen it very much outside of its native faction.
Yeah.
Everyone still is going to prefer green level over this. The 2 splash kind of like hindered it, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah, I think that it's a good card. I think that it's really your choice. I mean, it's dealer's choice. You have green level, blue level, both, whatever, you know what I mean. Maybe you're playing Whalen, maybe you just want a bigger card, a little bit more money. You know, I don't know. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's really
I don't know. Out of faction, I think it's too much.
It depends.
I think the main thing is HB has kind of hit that level where not everybody's playing them like they used to be. So that's probably why we haven't seen it as much, because everybody's gravitating towards Whalen, and now the Genteki train's coming up. So I think that the focus is kind of like went from Haas-Bioroid a little bit. Maybe that's just our meta, but that's what I'm seeing. And I think if we saw once it plateaus and everybody's kind of playing everything, I think that this card will have a lot of merit.
The last operation is the newest, is Reclamation Order. Yeah, start it off then.
I like it. I like it's the same amount of splash as Archive Memories,
Yeah.
but it pulls you back 2 cards. So instead of you having
3 cards.
Is it 3?
It pulls back all of them.
Potentially.
Oh, that's right. So if you are running your Archive Memories, I mean, say you wanted to pull back 2, then you got to play 2 Archive Memories, right? This one, you could just have, a lot of decks have, like, say you're running Scorches kind of thing, and you don't want to pay the full for 3 Scorches, so you splash 1 of these and then have 2 Scorches. So then you can pull things back or just be able to save yourself the money, especially if you're doing the combo deck, right, with the dual Scorches. Adding this in there gives it a higher chance of going off, right, or the ability to be able to blow past multiple blast rates when they're down. So I think that it's good. I think that if you're going to have Archive Memories in your deck, why not this, right? I mean, if you're only searching for 1 card, sure, Archive. If you're searching for more, go nuts.
I mean, I'm just gonna jump in right there because I completely disagree with you.
I'm on your side.
Not disagreeing about the card. I think the card is fantastic, and I think in Haas-Bioroid alongside Archive Memories is great. But I think if you're gonna splash, I would much rather splash Archive Memories. The chance of this actually getting you the amount of cards that you want back is going to be so slim. I mean, I run Genteki right now with Ash and Caprice and my Sundus. Those are what I want to bring back, right? And basically, as soon as one of them gets trashed, I want to be able to put it right back into play, you know? And I'm going to give a shout out to my buddy Kaiwin. When we were playing him at the store championships, he was only using a single Scorched, you know what I mean? And then he would play the Scorch, Archive Memory, play the Scorch again. You can't do that with this because it's a double.
Yeah, the double
I think
event,
people forget about that, and I see it online, and everybody does that. They're just like, if you're gonna do Archive Memory, you might as well do this. And I think it's 2 completely different levels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're playing all burst economy and yeah, your game plan is, you know, late game when the runner has all their stuff, but in my opinion, late game, you should already have most of your ice res. Like, what are you going to do with all that money late game, right? I want things that are going to work boom, boom, right now and early game, as opposed to...
Yeah, I think to me this card is too much of a potential dead draw. You're holding on to it, and then you're going to play one of your good cards that you want back, and then you're going to be on the fence. You're like, do I pop this now to get that 1 card? Can I see that other card I need so I can get my return for investment? And plus, I'm not going to be able to combo anything because it's 2 clicks to play.
I think in tandem with the green levels and the blue level clearance, the fact that it's giving you more draw, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. In Haas-Bioroid, I think this card is friggin' phenomenal. Because it's the core is almost you're trying to jump through your deck really fast, and there are going to be more copies of whatever you're playing in. And then now, if you're running 3 archive memories and 3 Reclamation Order, even just Reclamation Order for the archive memories becomes ridiculous.
Yeah, because you're not saving them for special cards. Like, you weren't saving your archived for the Scorch. You know, like, I'll burn in archive memories because I know eventually I'm going to get one of these and I can get everything I need back again, right? Like,
I mean, you were the one that introduced it to me, like the archive memory celebrity gift, but that's the thing. I don't want to have to play a celebrity gift, then draw into another one, play it, then play this, lose 2 clicks, and then lose 4 clicks playing my celebrity gifts. I want to draw my hand, see an archive memory, which opens up the possibility to play all of my cards twice, and then see a celebrity gift and go, okay, cool. Play it, show them, next turn, archive memory, show them, and then now I'm up to a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
This could also pull back, for $1, pull back as many transactions as you've tossed in there.
Now, but now you're doing what a lot of people are doing, is saying $1. You're not saying 2 clicks.
Yeah, I'll say 2 clicks, but I mean, it's 2 clicks and you could pull back 2 or 3 in one go, right?
Yeah.
No, I completely understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like in that I just think that it's dwarfed by archive memory. I think that archive memory is just, and it's the same thing with Strongbox compared to Ash. I think Reclamation Order for the splash of 2, and I think the splash is right on. If it was any more or any less, it would be broken. But I think out of faction, you're gonna want archive memory more.
Archive memory sets you for the combinations. This is still a good card. If you're pulling back 3 cards for the cost of this card is hands down.
Oh yeah,
amazing every time. But it's just, I think what it's doing for you is stretching your turn out a little, and the corporation you really gonna want to be on the speed game, and this is going to just turn that speed dial down a little while you're waiting.
And there's not to say that you're not going to have this and like 3 restructures in your hand, like, and have that as your opening hand, and to just be like, you know, restructure, 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 next turn, Reclamation Order, restructure, restructure.
You're forgetting the first part of that, which is, I'll keep.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if it like in the right deck with a lot of burst economy, I just don't think we'll see this out of faction like everybody's kind of.
Yeah, I'm agree. You might, but then you might see that guy next week show up at League with archives back in.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do a part 2.
No, so definitely we've done. So that's 4 operations, and so now let's get into the ice. So on the ice side of things, let's start with the code gates. HB got 3 code gates in this. I
thought you were calling them code fence.
The first one we got was next bronze. You're a strong believer in the bronze. So.
I mean, first things first is I love the idea of the next ice. It reminds me of like Sliver kind of.
But there's none other.
That doesn't matter. This is still, I mean, code gates are
code gates.
Code gates. I mean, they can all be broken by Yug, and this thing gets Yug, but I love the fact that it can. I don't know, it's just modular. I like that. It's not something that's going to be static for the whole game. And 2 for an end the run is not terrible.
No, it's not unreasonable.
I mean, like, you look at like comparable cards like this, like, I don't think this is any worse than Wraparound. It's not any worse than a Matsubaku.
What's that brand new one though? Brand new code game.
Quandary?
Quandary.
Oh, Quandary annihilates this.
Yeah.
And it's
colorless.
Colorless. But that's the thing, like, Quandary does the same thing that this is going to do, except in a Haas-Bioroid, this is actually going to potentially have strength to it, you know what I mean? That's not saying, like, I mean, for the 4 strength, like, you really have to have 3 of these things in play in order to be kind of testing, but I mean...
Chances are rare. Common would be 2.
Yeah.
You'd see, so it'd be strength 3.
And there was admins that were running around, so I mean, like... I don't know, I like this card, and I mean, I'm definitely going to like it a lot more when the next comes, or like the rest of the next.
Do we know if there's going to be any?
I mean, why would they?
I don't think there's going to be.
You just trolled him this whole cycle. Every time, every pack that came out, he was really, as soon as we see that next.
Yeah,
Lucas is going to watch this video and go, dumbasses.
There's no more next. It would make it way too powerful.
I don't think it would make it way too powerful.
And then everything just becomes a t-shirt quote.
To have, if they were all strength 0, Like that would be like a max of like 9, like strength 9 for all of them. But you'd have to have them. You would have to have all 9 of them in play.
Yeah, but strength of 6 for.
It's not. No, you know what though? For the ice strengths that have been coming out now, it's not ridiculous to think you're gonna be able to get an ice up to 6 strength.
It is for $2.
No, it's not gonna be $2. It's gonna be. It's gonna be the equivalent.
If you have already 6 in play, to pay 2 for a 6 or for a 7 strength code gate is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, but way too awesome. That's like power curve eject into orbit.
It's not because it's going to be a slow rolling
It scales
process,
good.
though,
It scales
right?
good because early game it's cheap for the corp to run. But if they have the right breaker, it's also cheap for the runner to break.
Yeah.
But then the game, I think they want the game to scale like that, where eventually it's just like, okay, well now I have 9 of these things rezzed. You know what I mean? It's not impossible because late game the runners can break almost anything anyway.
Yeah. We'll have to see on that because it'll be really interesting to see.
Would you like it more if when you rezzed it gave you a bad publicity?
No. No, but I think that if that were to happen, then I think that we'd see some pretty strong counter runner cards to make sure that they can deal with something like that.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that you haven't seen the Grail cards that they're coming out with. And those things, they seem way more broken than the idea of a Strength 9 code game.
Let's stick with what's actually on the table here.
I'll fill you in after this video.
Okay, tell us what you
Mind-blowing.
think, by the way. Is that do you think there'll be more next or not?
Do you think next is going to be more powerful if there's 3 next cards? If you think they're going to be more powerful than 3 Grail cards? Because I don't.
If they split them up between different factions, maybe.
That's what I think they'll do, because we all thought that the
cloak and dagger thing. What are they? Stealth. The stealth.
Yeah,
cards
no,
that
well,
beat dagger?
no, it was lockpick, right? We thought all of the hardwares were going to be shapers. That's a good call, because if they were
like
all
the next
two
one is
faction,
an NBN, and then they gave it like
that's a really
but
that would make it really fair.
But what's the next storyline though? Is it strictly
It's all about me.
HB? Oh, somebody. Okay.
The next storyline, Sly Squid,
Narcissist extraordinaire. Borderline sociopath.
All that being said, early when this card came out, and even halfway through the spin cycle, I have seen and have encountered Next Bronze. People have run it. Yep. It's really good to get out there. It does what it needs to do. $2 for an end run. Before Quandary was there.
Yeah.
How can you go wrong? How can you go wrong?
You couldn't go wrong before Quandary, but now there's that option, right? And I think that it'll be
their next code gate that they came across was Hudson. This card had a little bit of hype coming out.
This is weird. This card, I want to like it.
So do I.
You want to like it, but you can't. Because you try it and you're like, well, that didn't work.
Because it's just like, if you're gonna,
pretty much.
I understand that you could have multiple of these, and like, but I'm under the impression that if I've got 9 tokens on my medium, I'm gonna pay the 2 clicks. Right.
Yeah.
Like if you had 2 Hudsons over your R&D, okay. But
then you're gonna find a way to break before you run in.
that's what I'm saying. It's gonna take that's like, unless you're like, your opening hand is 2 Hudsons and like you're like,
Yeah. So you're
but
saying,
even then,
but
any
even
runner
then,
deck
you're
is
saying
just gonna be like,
the click,
not gonna work.
the click, the Bioroid click through hurts this one because it doesn't even force you to go and get your code breaker, right? Like that's why I like the like with Next Bronze. Yeah, it was like very cheap to put out there.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have a code breaker, you're not clicking through that.
It's exactly why Yagura is good. And Next Bronze, it's like, you can't break this until you spend your 5 to go find your Yug. Yeah, it's yuggable, but it's still, you're digging for it, and you're paying for it, and ta-da! I only have this cheap little code gate.
So Hudson was something, and then after some testing, he's kind of just...
I still like him. I mean, like, the 3 for 5, and the Bioroid ability does hurt it, but stacking Bioroids, like if you have an Eli after or before this, then like now you're creating you're putting the runner in a situation that he could potentially break through this, but does he have the barrier breaker to break through Eli. I mean,
But that goes back to thinking that runner compensation deck is not there yet, right?
I agree. Yeah.
I like how he looks kind of like a new age alternate art Megabyte from Reboot.
Yeah, he does too.
It's just the jaw thing. Anyway, what do we got?
Hexadecimal.
The last
Yes, Reboot references.
the last Codegate was their newest. How about you pronounce this one?
Oh, Giri Labyrinth?
Giri?
Giri.
It's gyro, like
Yeah,
gyro.
I say Gyro.
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 Gyro?
Gyri?
Giri?
Yeah,
Giri
it's
Labyrinth.
Gyri.
I don't know,
You're
man.
making me hungry on the.
What, Giri, what is that? Is that like Italian or Greek or something? Help us out. Anyway,
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Two for two. Yep, it's a good little action here. I like it because
2 for 2 for 2 for 2. That minuses you by 2.
yep. I like it in red, Genteki. I like it in
Maybe
Genteki.
Giri means 2.
It might. We don't know.
Yeah.
We are so uncultured.
It's funny because we're on the internet, but we won't check the internet for any.
No, we need you to do that for us, please.
Leave in the comments, please.
You're already on YouTube. Just open up a new tab. Quit being so lazy.
Work
Yeah.
for us.
So this is the newest one that we saw in the last pack.
I like it.
I like it. I like it. In,
And it should also be stated that it is in the rules that if during your discard phase you're forced to discard below your hand size, you do die. So this could potentially kill you. Alone. Like, if you have 3 of these, could potentially
some brain
kill you.
damage. Yeah, some brain
No,
damage.
no, no.
when you hit this.
If you hit 3 of these, you die. Because during your discard phase, you have to discard.
Yeah, that's true. Or if you just have some brain damage on you, then you gotta.
I agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this in a brain damage deck. I mean, even early game, like a runner wants to keep their hand pretty full, right? Early game, just hitting this thing is going to be an end run, just like Data Raven, in my opinion, and Yagura.
Oh, I guess yeah, because
Because they're gonna hit it, and
yeah.
then they're gonna be like, oh well. Because it puts a damper on them. They're either going to hit it and continue to run and be aggressive, or they're going to play cards so they don't have to discard down, and they're not going to run it again until they're able to break it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just a tight little card. I mean, if it costs any more, that's getting on the bubble of might
It's
not.
tight.
Yeah. And then Chairman Hero's coming out, so that thing, you hit 2 of these things, you might be like, I can hit 2 of these, and then I res a Chairman Hero, you're dead. Before you discard, you're dead. You know what I mean? Like, there, a lot of possibilities. We're only seeing the tip of the iceberg for lowering hand size.
How do you
right
feel
now.
about it? How do you feel about it sitting in HB? Were you happy to see it there?
I think it's great in HB. I mean, with the brain damage and all that stuff, I just think it's really tight. It's just, I like weird things that people aren't going to expect. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the time, right now, it's just like, I've got my Century Breaker out, I can run, I can face check, because there's no downside to it. I'm going to run into a barrier, I'm going to run into a code gate, and they're going to be end the runs. But now it's just like, it's like, oh, do I want to do this? Like, and like, I play in factions that, like, I play Genteki where my wall does net damage. My code gate does net damage. And I could tell you right now, it throws people off. When I'm playing my Genteki deck, they play their fairy, and they make that run in through my R&D, and they lose a card because of my Yagura.
You know what?
It's just something that you just don't think of.
And that's what I was going to say for my next point, is that I love the fact that the code gate is punishing.
Exactly, yeah. And it's not like lose a click punishing. Like, this is going to make the runner make tough choices. Do I discard the cards? Do I keep being aggressive? Or do I just play the cards and slow down? Like, this card will slow the runner down.
Oh yeah.
It will
without a doubt.
make him make choices. But now that's not to say that the runner can't just be like, okay, all I need to do, like, there's that single ice over your R&D, I need to run it with a 3 hand size, and I can get free access every time. That's a total possibility too. But now they're running with 3 cards. Maybe you're playing Scorched Earth. Maybe this is a new deck type. Are you listening? Are you?
Laying easy. It's on a platter. Take it and run with it.
Yeah.
Literally. Any other stuff, or should we close the chapter on HB code gates?
I think I said everything that could be said.
Maybe. I love it. I love it in red. I love it in Genteki, just because it's it sucks. Or you know what I mean? You hit that and then you're like...
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. It sucks for the runner, I should say. Especially in, I've been playing the James Techie a lot recently, and I mean, if they come at this thing and then they're like, well, chances are they're going to get an agenda if they run anywhere, because there's like tons of agendas in the deck, so they're like, they got to be like, well, do I really want that agenda? It's going to be 1 point. I'll take it. And then they take that damage, and then they discard down again, and then are they going to live?
Yeah.
Who knows?
This is an example of a very, very well balanced, constructed, designed card.
That's exactly what I wrote in my review.
2 to res,
Perfect.
2 strength, 2 splash. In the faction you wouldn't really think it's going to be in, with a really good ability.
Yeah. With an ability that helps out a lot of different decks, so it makes it very splashable.
But it's not like any other card where it's like, oh, I don't even know why this is in this faction. It needs to be splash. You know what I mean? I think it's got a lot to do in Haas-Bioroid. But I agree. I think it's obviously a red card that with influence.
The next up, we're getting into HB got 1 barrier, and it was a doozy. You might recognize this card from such playmats as World Championships.
Odin's father,
or if you want, if you got a plaque, you know, he was on the plaques. This is the Wotan. Wow, what a barrier! If you're only going to get 1 barrier, might as well be this, right?
I guess, yeah. If you're only going to go broke resing 1 ice,
yeah,
this is the.
If you want to use all your influence on 1 card, this is the one.
14 to res. 10 strength, and an influence value of 5.
Full. Influence value of full.
Yeah?
How easy is it to score behind?
There are people out there that, since there's no end runs, they will dive through.
Well, that's not true. There's 4 end runs.
End the run and less.
That would be the term right there.
And I also noticed that when this interacts with Inside Job just goes right over it.
But this is, even though you pay 14 to res this and you only have to pay 2 for an Inside Job?
Yeah.
It's weird though.
Weird, but I mean, you make them pay that too for the Inside Job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they got to spend that 2 credits for sure.
And then, how are they going to recover?
Yeah. And then the subsequent emergency shutdown.
Nobody plays that card though.
So, if we were to pause right here for a second and play a little game called Read Between the Lines, I would say that you guys don't like this card at all.
No. Maybe, like, I mean, if I was playing Haas-Bioroid, I'd probably put 1 in, just as, like, the throw-off card, because I'd never want to have 2 of these in my hand. I would rather shoot myself in the mouth. But having the 1 copy when you draw it and playing it just to have the potential. But I mean, everybody's talking about this cerebral imaging deck that only scores out of hand and having the Wotan over your hand. I mean, yeah, okay, whatever.
I like the fact that it was a unique ice. I thought that was a good twist on it.
I like the fact that you're unique.
But I also it was I have a little black diamond always floating there.
Yeah.
It was interesting because I mean, like, at 14 res cost, how many of these do you think someone was going to play?
I mean, the only saving grace is it's actually still a Bioroid, and you can Bioroid efficiency.
That's what I was trying to get in there edgewise.
I get it.
Just yammering on, eh? Yeah, Bioroid efficiency.
I'm able to get my points out faster than you.
Louder than me.
You can say Oversight AI.
An Oversight AI.
Oh, good point there.
Oh, thanks. But Bioroid efficiency because it's in faction. So this I would never take out of faction. Ever.
No.
And, yeah, I would need to I'd need to be running efficiency or whatever you said.
It's where it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's a good barrier. I mean,
but better be. With my money.
I think it is. This will get you the protection you need. I like, if I'm HB, I don't mind seeing this because I do have Bioroid efficiency.
I think it's almost just like a joke that they printed Hive in the last set. And it's just like, Hive is like so much better than that card.
Yeah.
And it's so much cheaper.
But you know
it's so much easier to splash.
So much splashier.
You have to look at that as, you know, there's a lot of people that fear losing anything. You know, you're the kind of guy
I've
that
met you before.
You're the kind of guy that will run. You run very reckless and by the seat of your pants, and you're not afraid
Skin
to.
of his teeth, actually.
You're not afraid to trash a program or take brain damage if you need to, right?
He's already brain damaged, like.
Yeah. There's no recovery.
Right. And if a lot of
doctors say that maybe this will help. It's like a revert, like when Fred Flintstone gets hit on the head twice, he gains his memory back.
Yeah. I knew a lot of people with the discussions that I was having about the deck that I took to store championships, and one with everyone was like, "What if you ran into a Wotan?" I was like, "Well, I was just prepared to pay the costs,
click through it, yeah,
right? Like get through, because you're not going to really see it as much as you think you're going to see.
That's because you said I'm running Morningstar with no data suckers, so everybody online was just like, well, there are definitely more than Strength 5 barriers, and I'm going to throw all of them at you.
But then I personal touched it up. But yeah, everyone's got a counter for a counter, and
there's always a card.
That's why the game is great. That's why the game is great.
But they
he read the meta and won. Where's your plaque? We should show off your plaque.
Down by your feet.
It's on. Yeah, it's way too far away.
We're already like 40 minutes into this video. I love how our idea was to make a bunch of quick videos, and now we have a 40-minute.
There's too much to be said.
The last one on the thing is that they got 1 century, and it's an AP elect. It's Fenris. You want to start over here because I know you were originally early pro Fenris.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's changed. We'll see.
He was all over it. So Fenris is another good ice. It's well, you were loving it in your Harmony MedTech. You were going to throw that right in there. Are you still planning on it? Still planning on it? Yeah.
Don't spoil it. He'll say his piece in a minute. Say your piece.
Okay.
Don't give him a tangent to get on.
It's good. It's a good card.
Don't let me start running because I won't stop. This is eating me inside.
It's only 2 strength. So I really wish that it would have been 1 more for the cost of 4, but that's about it. That's my only complaint with it. I think that it's a strong sentry.
I didn't see it a lot. I expected it to see. I do like it. Brain damage is great. Not enough ways to give brain damage straight up these days because you can't. Too. It's a HB ice you can't click through. If you don't have a breaker for this, you're taking the damage. You're ending the run. The cost works, and it's just a really good ice. I don't know if I like the take 1 bad pub ability, but it's nothing to worry about. It was out there. I'd say 50% of the HB decks at least had
the bad pub.
Fenris.
Is a great trade for the brain damage. If the brain damage is going to go off, I'll take the bad pub for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just go out and say it right now. Where's her name? Elijah Smelksenler.
Do you want me to pronounce that properly for you?
Pronounce that.
Is it the artist you mean?
Yeah.
Lija Schmishkalan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you did it right.
She's my favorite artist in the game. So I'm just going to give her a shout out right now because, like, love her art. And check her out on DeviantArt. But my first thing about this card is the fact that it's a century with a hard end run. Just in love with that. In love with that. There's 2 things that I think. Well, there's a few things about the strength that I like. Either way, you're gonna have to pay for the ninja. You know what I mean? Like, it could. If it was strength 3, it wouldn't really matter until we're getting into like the garrote phase. But if you're gonna have a garrote by the time I have this in play, I'm not gonna res this. Yeah. You know what I mean? So there's really no downside. But I think that like in the deck that this is gonna work in, and I still say Harmony MedTech. The bad publicity is not going to change a thing because it's going to be so aggressive and so scary. And I mean, like, when I'm Mishuno Sinning in June Bugs and you already have 1 or 2 bad pub, it's going to be so much harder to make decisions. Yeah. Yeah, this card, and it splashes for next to nothing for what it does.
Is it 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just solid card. And I mean, I don't know if everybody likes my tangents on art, but I love that art.
No, it was it's good, and like I said, the best thing about it is you can't click through.
Exactly.
It's half trap, half ice, because you're gonna get that 1 brain damage off nice and early, and then the rest of the time it can sit there and end run.
You know what? This started that new wave of timing of ice to res. there's, you know, you're only gonna res this if it can work, right? I've seen a lot
it's
of
not a taxing.
I've played a lot of games like back in the early stages of Netrunner. Someone would run, and no matter what it was, you're like, well, I'm gonna res it because I'm gonna make you pay something anyway.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ice out there, and this one included, that you're not resing unless you're getting maximum reward for. And Fenris kind of started that trend. So there it is. Overall, that's the HB suite for the spin cycle. Closing comments on that? Were you guys happy with that? I was happy that they didn't get that big of a boost after getting the big box, like we said earlier.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little unfair to say, but yeah, I think that's what they got a lot of toys. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's why they got a lot of support cards, like I was saying, like the vanilla kind of cards, like Maguire and Panic Button. Like those cards, like are gonna fill out the set as a whole, but as opposed to making the set more powerful right now.
Make no mistake, there's gold in there. Like there was gold in it. It's just that they already had so much.
I just think it's lackluster in comparison to the other factions. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna say.
What they're doing right now is they're prepping for a party. Something is gonna come out in the next cycle that is gonna work with these cards, and that's when these ones are gonna shine in. But right now, these cards by themselves are.
So you're saying I should make a deck of just those 15 cards?
No,
it's not going to work.
No,
I do need more agendas.
But you know what you definitely should do is like and subscribe. Sorry, did you?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the one thing you're not gonna see is any more next ice.
Don't.
That's what I came back for after my like and subscribe. I was getting ready for the outro.
Bye, guys.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Stop with this.
Hey, you could have stopped sooner.